Hello. I am so happy to be back today. It is my third day in a row hopping in after a long hiatus. So I hope you guys are along with me for the ride. Let me make sure I'm showing up. Today we're going to be talking about avoid these men. So there are a few different types of men that I need you to avoid just so you don't waste any time. And the number one that I want to tell you about, the number one that I want to tell you about is the man who is very, very, very flashy. So, he's out at parties, he's in Black culture, he's at every party every single weekend. He is wearing a bunch of jewelry. He is just he is, like I don't want to offend anyone, but it's almost like people have to get offended to hear the truth. So I think that's why I'm tiptoeing. But men that are always at parties and men that are very flashy are men to avoid. And the reason why this is because they're going to care more about maintaining the things and the material items that they already have. And think, why do people obtain lots of material things, especially if they're a younger male? Why do they obtain most of these things? They obtain these things because they want attention. They obtain these things and then they get options because when people see them, they think they might see money. And so that's a reason why most of us will be needing to avoid these men. Most of the people who are wearing their money probably don't have it. Unless they've literally made the investments, told you about the investments, lived a life with the investments. Typically, no. Typically, no. So let's go on to the second guy that you need to avoid. Second guy that you need to avoid is going to be the guy that tells you right away, I don't do relationships. You can try to change his mind, but that is going to take some skill and some studying. And why not avoid all that studying, and why not avoid all those skills that, you'll have to change someone's mind and you'll have to do the law of attraction, all of that work, like if someone is letting you know, I do not see that with you, I don't want anything serious with you, and they're saying it repeatedly, avoid him. Keep going. There is abundance of men out there. I want you to get on Instagram and literally type in men. Thousands of men will come up. If you're ever thinking that there is some sort of lack in the world or there is some sort of scarcity, then that will definitely help you and refresh your memory on who's out there and what's out there. So that is going to be another guy that you need to avoid. And let's talk about number three. Number three, the guy that you need to avoid is going to be the guy. You ready for this one? The guy that does not go on proper dates with you. He hasn't taken you out to eat. He hasn't taken you to a restaurant. It's really nice. I know a lot of us like sitting in the house. I'm a homebody myself, but that is not how you start a relationship. Men back in the day, they knew for a fact that in order to get their woman, they couldn't even go to their house without freaking flowers. They couldn't go to a woman's house late at night. That was never an option. So the late night hanging out that he wants to do for the first month of dating is letting me know that he's not the one and he needs to be avoided. And those are the three men that I want you to avoid. And now I kind of want to go into a monologue, and I want to talk to you about when you are dating. I need you to have your deal breakers. Have things that you are not going to deal with before you even meet someone. That way you're not discounting yourself, and instead of discounting yourself, you're adding inflation. You're adding inflation and you're adding tax. So I need you to have your deal breakers, have the things that like, okay, well, I really don't want to drive an hour to see someone, or I really don't want to date someone long distance because I learned from that before. And I learned that they're not 100% committed, or I learned that like it's good in the beginning and it gets bad at the end. So I think I might avoid that unless we get married quickly, or unless we're planning a life together and he's implementing quickly. That's the only way. Like you could put a deal breaker and you can say, but I might do this if this, and this happens. That way, when you go over your deal breaker and you're like, okay, I'm not doing this, then you look at your 3 things that you said, okay, if he has this, and this, I may go for it. I may. Okay. I may go for it. So I want you to be very aware of the things that when you get into a relationship, you aren't happy with them, that you end up settling for. Once you find out what you have been settling for, write this down. If there is a pattern, write it down. Find out, why is that a pattern? Is that a pattern because I might have daddy issues? Is that a pattern because I have this fear of really, loving someone? Or have I had a traumatic past where I have maybe experienced any abuse? Check yourself. Find out, why are you dating the people that you've been dating? Why are you getting the results that you've been getting? Write down, why have I been getting these results? It's going to be up to you to do the work. You can't just think you're going to stumble into Mr. Right without writing anything down, without implementing anything, and just think you're going to meet the person. Because this is a person who was raised differently from you. This is a person who probably comes from, a different culture, possibly. I mean, even if sometimes you live in the suburbs or you live in the city, you guys have grown up in different cultures. So with this being said, this is a completely different person and you will be triggered. How will you handle the relationship when you're triggered? So monologue is over, and we talked about things that are going to be deal breakers for you that you need to write. The only way that you'll do those things is if you do A, B, and C. So I want you to do that. And then I also want you to avoid the men that I talked about. Run from them. As Tony Gaskin says, put on your track shoes. Okay. All right. Thank you for popping in. And the book club is in the description below, as well as any coaching services. You can email me. And yes, my niche is helping women get married. And that's just what I do. So if you are not looking to get married, go to another channel. But if you are, keep watching and keep looking and investing in yourself. Join the book club. That is only, I forget how much it is right now, but you can look in the Patreon and you can see. But, we meet twice a month and I would love to have you. All right. Bye.